It is Sunday, July the 23rd, 2017, Wrestleview Live, number 18. I think I had it at 17. Sorry, I screwed up on the YouTube page. Welcome to the show. We're a little fashionably late this evening because we had some fun technical glitches, which tend to happen on these live streams. This is why we like to do live stuff, though, so if something bad happens, we can stall and play the fun, scary music. We are going to talk WWE Battleground this evening. I am Adam Martin of Wrestleview.com. We are live on the front page of Wrestleview. We should be. Yes, we are. And we are here for about the next hour to talk about the Smackdown Battleground, whatever they attempted to present this evening from Philadelphia. And we're also not being credited for photos, courtesy of Mike Tedesco over on the Twitter this evening, so we'll talk about that a little bit. I am not alone this evening via old telephone technology. On the podcast with me tonight is Doug Lackey. And Douglas, I don't know if we need to invest in the infrastructure, but microphone didn't like it this evening, so welcome via telephone, old school way. Yeah, pretty much. My microphone just basically said, nope. Don't like it. Mm-hmm. I don't like it that the Great Khali showed up, so I don't want you to talk about it. I don't like it that the Great Khali. That happened. It gave me a flashback, my panic flashback to when we were doing our Christmas show back in December, and after an hour, my soundboard just stopped working, and I panicked. And stuff like that always happens when you decide to go live on YouTube or Facebook or whatever. So we tried.
But it's odd for me because, honey, this never happens to me.
I know
everything works on my end. So yeah, this is completely new to me, where something on my end screws up. So, oh well. And we'll just go old school.
We won't have video for you. We'll have my video, but we will have this lovely photo that you requested I put together for you, which is you on Rusev's body choking John Cena lifeless with a chain. Someone put a Brazzers logo. I think Renee did that on our Facebook page. You put a Brazzers logo, so maybe I'll find that. So yeah,
that picture has actually been a dream of mine. That one that I asked you to construct right there. That has just been an absolute dream of mine, right there. Especially with Rusev in his heyday.
And you as a request of yours, where I tried to cut out the eyes and nose and mouth of Rusev and put your face on it. And I actually did this one by accident. I cut your head out with the little headset on from our last podcast. I was trying to get like a goofy expression from you. And I decided, so I pasted into Photoshop as like my base to put behind it. And then I was just laughing at Doug's large head on top of Rusev's big muscular shoulder. So I'm like, I'm just going to leave that and send it to Doug and see what he thinks. And it was lovely. Bronx is telling you to dump Windows Vista. You don't have Windows Vista, do you, sir?
No, absolutely not. I've got, I'm running the 10.
Oh, that's right. We're all running the 10 these days. Most of us are. I don't know. We'll have to see. At any rate,
just because I don't listen to your neat music that you kids listen to nowadays doesn't mean that I'm stuck in that old OS that I used to have.
The neat music, exactly. I might try to have somebody give us a phone call, that person being Mike Tedesco, if he has the opportunity. He has an iPhone, so his battery runs out when he goes. He was at the show tonight in Philadelphia. I have no idea why he went to the show tonight. I don't know if it's because he's frustrated because he covers Raw for us on Wrestleview. But I have absolutely no idea why he made. How far is like Philadelphia from New Jersey? Like that's what I have no idea. I have no concept.
Well, apparently, if he's able to like just take a subway to it, then it can't be that far.
Okay. Well, he lives in Jersey, though. So
I don't know. I don't know how far it is.
We'll ask him.
I only know so much about this country.
I'll text him. I'll ask him if he wants to join us. But in the meantime, so I'll multitask because I'm talking into my fancy microphone here. So this show fucking sucked, Doug. Sorry. I have.
Well, nice. It was great for me to call in. I'll talk to you guys some other time.
I'm sorry, but I had this.
Doesn't it feel great to have a return to normalcy?
Where we didn't have a fair. Well, like that's what's weird about this is like we'll come on here. We've been trying to like. okay, this was kind of like we would focus on like 2, maybe 3 matches that we really liked. And then we would kind of just, we would talk about, other shit that happened on the show. But the first hour stunk. The second hour stunk. I had high hopes for the Punjabi Prison match, and that didn't really, the Great Khali thing was a little bit of a surprise. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
But there just wasn't, this was not a good show. And
no.
I was watching because Mike was tweeting from the Wrestleview account from his seat and just kind of seeing what his perspective was from being there live. And he said the Punjabi Prison was almost nearly impossible to see through from his seat. And it reminded me of our fiasco at WrestleMania many years ago, trying to watch a Hell in a Cell match inside a fucking football stadium. And we found ourselves just glancing up at that giant Dolphins big screen instead. But I don't know if I put too much. This was the first Punjabi Prison match in close to 10 years. I thought, well, we haven't seen this for almost a decade, Doug. Maybe this will be good. And boy, was I wrong. This is not a good match. It's real. I don't know what my brain did. I tried to trick myself like, oh, I haven't seen this in a while. Maybe I'll like it. I think there's a reason why they didn't do one for almost 10 years is it sucks. It's not good.
Well, I watched the last one that they did between Batista and the Great Khali.
Okay.
And the thing was with that match, again, like I said in our last review, I was like, oh, great, it's going to be Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal in a wall climbing contest. But I watched that match, and I tried watching this, and I was like, okay, in 10 years' time, what is this company going to learn from this match that they are going to change? Not like the match and what happens within the match, but production-wise, everything about this match, what are they going to change that they learned within this 10-year time frame? Apparently, the only thing they did was change the lighting. And thank God, because if they kept the lighting how it was between Batista and Khali, it was just like a sea of yellow. It was like they were climbing walls in a pool of urine. Okay, this match, it was just as bad because you still couldn't see crap. And the only other thing that they did in as far as the production of this match was they changed the color of the ropes to pure white instead of it being the blue for SmackDown.
Okay.
But even that didn't change anything. The only view that I can imagine that this show, if you were there live watching this and this match was coming on, you would want to have a seat as far away from the structure as possible. You would want to be in the nosebleeds in those $15 seats. And I'm sure those people weren't complaining about what they were able to see. But this match is absolutely horrible by every stretch of the imagination. There is no way to get a good camera angle, no good wide shot, no good crowd shot, no good anything. Okay, this needs to be scrapped. Badly. And it can't be, I don't want to hear the whole, we already confessed that Jinder Mahal is the champion because of India. India does not need their own match, too. Okay? It just doesn't work.
So the difference was the lighting was different in 10 years ago?
It was lighting in the ring ropes.
Lighting in the ring ropes. Okay.
Yeah, the ring ropes, they didn't change. In this one, they changed the color to a pure white ring ropes.
Okay.
In the previous ones, they kept them in blue. They didn't change the ring rope colors.
I see.
At all.
That's different.
But the big thing was the change of the lighting.
Okay.
The lighting during the Batista-Khali match was, oh my God, awful. Remember how bad Sin Cara matches were?
Yes, I remember how bad sucky they were.
Yeah, that's how bad it was, yeah.
So if you're hearing some weird noise, I don't know where Mike Tedesco is from Wrestleview.com. Are you on a subway or what are you doing right now?
No, I'm on the New Jersey Turnpike.
It's loud as fuck.
Just driving in the rain.
Oh, you're in the rain.
It's just my car. Yeah, it's raining. It's just shitty out.
Okay, so it's loud as fuck. So hopefully this doesn't burn everybody's ears out. But I wanted to talk to you because so I'm on the phone with Doug. Doug's mic broke, so you guys are both on the phone with us.
Oh, cool.
So how far of a drive was this for you tonight?
About an hour and a half, hour and 40.
Okay, is this worth it for you after you saw this piece of shit show tonight?
You know what? Yes. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because going to an event, and you know this from going to events yourself, it's exponentially different than watching on TV. You know, you have some skin in the game. You know, you almost want to will yourself to have a good time. And every time I go to an event, I always have a good time, regardless. If it's a shit show, I start just having fun on my own and whatever. You know, but you know, there was some stuff that I really enjoyed. You know, just hanging out with, you know, just getting out of the house and going out to a pay-per-view on a, you know, when 2 days ago we didn't even think we were going with my wife is just good enough for me. You know, and whatever else happens is, you know, cake. I enjoy when WWE's in town, and, you know, I go. I'm not going to analyze the show. I'm just going to react and boo, cheer, and have fun.
But it also stunk, though.
I was getting a real kick out of your tweets. Because I was like, oh, you know, that was a fun match. You're like, this is so dope. And I was like, you know, that's the difference.
I know. We were contradicting each other all night, I think, on Twitter, because I would say something like you were really big on it. You're like, oh, that was a really good match. And I was just like, oh, I don't know if I just did not. I felt zero hype for the show, and I cover SmackDown for Wrestleview now, so I can kind of tell if something's going well or not so much. And like, they didn't seem like they cared at all on Tuesday. Like they were just like, yeah, we got, it also occurred to me tonight too, they are providing pay-per-views through traditional pay-per-view means, but I have a feeling shows like this are not provided on traditional pay-per-view because they went way over 3 hours, and there's no way they're doing that on traditional pay-per-view, which led me to believe this was, because they kept using the word streaming. Tom Phillips kept saying streaming over and over and over again. So I don't think this is a show you could have just purchased for like, you know, $50, $60 or whatever on pay-per-view. As far as I know, I know like Dish dropped them, DirecTV dropped them. I know if you have like, you know, traditional cable, you can still order these shows, but I get the vibe they're not doing that for every single one of these shows they do, regardless if it's Raw or SmackDown. So I kept hearing the word streaming.
I don't think it's worth it for a provider to carry this many shows. I mean, first of all, let's just be real. You know, I went to the show tonight and I enjoyed it. I know for a fact if I was watching it at home, I'd be in and out, you know, reading on my Kindle, going back and forth watching the show. I wouldn't give a shit, really. You know, this was not, you know, you, me and Doug, we went to WrestleMania 28. This was not WrestleMania 28.
No.
You know? This was just a show. And it was a show just because they have to have some content on the WWE Network. You know, having attended it, I have, you know, I tried to enjoy it, and, you know, I mostly succeeded. I mean, most of the matches sucked. I thought Kevin Owens and AJ Styles was way overhyped. You know, the women's match was just blah. You know, there's a whole bunch of blah stuff. But, you know, just being at the event, it's just, you know, you're around people, you're talking, you're laughing. It makes the experience better. You know, I know from recapping all the time, you know, even if there's a Raw that, like, you know, most people, whenever Raw is, like, you know, halfway decent, they're like, oh my God, best Raw ever. And I'm just like, you know, because we kind of get that jaded, you know, recapper thing going on. You know, it's like we analyze and we pay such close attention to everything because we're trying to, you know, like me, I'm trying to get headlock, you know, headlock takeover, this and that, to the point where I'm analyzing it so much and I'm paying such close attention to it that I see the little nuances that really, really piss you off that most people don't notice. And that also hurts my ability to enjoy the show.
I'm looking at the Twitter feed, and our good friend Liquid Jesus tweeted at both of us, actually, and pointed out to us, we get to wave hello to the, let's look at the Twitter account at PW Stream. I'm actually going to put them up on the screen and put them on blast here. They took one of your photos, Mike, and gave no credit, and it got 97 retweets and 203 likes and 15 replies, and this is the new world we live in now, where people just snatch up photos from people attending live. So kudos to them.
It wasn't a picture of me and my wife, was it?
No, it was the Punjabi Prison when you had tweeted, and I can actually put up the other version that you put up. You were basically saying, I'll put it on the screen, that it was really hard to see through it, and that was your tweet, and then they snatched the same photo and then tossed it up on their feed and said, yeah, see, we told you couldn't see through the Punjabi Prison, but that was all thanks to your photography expertise.
Liquid Jesus, you son of a bitch.
I know. So it's at PW Stream. So feel free to shame them while you listen to us live, or you're on the archive, and maybe I'll clip this and I'll send them the video and see what they think about it, because they probably won't apologize because they don't. But they'll probably say fake news or something. Doug's typing fake news furiously in the chat room right now. But and speaking of that, before we let you go, because I know you're driving back and you kind of just want to hang out with the wife, but how hard was it to see through the Punjabi prison? Because it looked terrible from even the photo that you tweeted out.
When they were in the ring, it was completely miserable. Like, you couldn't see shit. There was and the Titantron, for whatever reason, they put no video on the Titantron. They have a giant screen. They don't put video up because whatever, the micromanager doesn't want any video on there, thinking it's distracting or whatever. So, like a match like that, they should have had the video up on the Titantron so you could see what was going on. When they got out of the first cage and they were in the one that surrounded the ringside area, that made it a little easier to see. But then when they went on the other side of the ring, then you have to look through basically 3 of the Punjabi prison, so you can't see shit. So when he gave him that DDT on the floor off the cage, I didn't see that at all. Mm-hmm. But I did get a great view of the that Singh brother took into the table. That was pretty cool. That was one of the cool things. There wasn't very much cool about this show tonight, but there was at least one thing right there. All right. Yeah, actually, and I want to say real quick, something really cool happened to us. Look, I just want to lay the preface out here real quick. You take your life in your own hands and you go to these events, and by life, I mean the life of your nasal passages. It's always a risk to sit around people that are fans of wrestling, because most of them they don't really like to clean themselves well. They don't like to wipe. Toilet tissue is a very foreign subject to them, I guess. Uh-huh. There was somebody around us that when we first sat down, that smelled so bad. Victoria,
can I explain?
Go ahead.
Yeah, let Victoria explain.
All right. So first of all, I want to just recap real quick. 2 years ago, we went to Raw. We sat pretty close, but there was this woman who smelled so bad that me, Mike, and myself all had an asthma attack. And Mike doesn't even have asthma, and he couldn't breathe. So I had an asthma attack in the bathroom. My brother had an asthma attack. It was just bad. So anytime we go to the show, I'm like, all right, I hope we don't sit next to somebody who is that bad. But tonight, sat down, and I'm like, what the heck is this? And I could not breathe. I was like, no, it's not going to happen. So I'm sitting with my hand covering my mouth the entire time. So then Mike was like, you know what? Let's go get food, get out of here, and whatever. So we go up to guest services, and Mike's like, this smell that's in our section is so foul. We need to do something. Can you get us other seats that are comparable to our area?
Yeah. So long story short, they moved us. But I mean, it was so rancid that this person smelled so bad. And, well, the reason why it smelled extra bad, I think, is because they couldn't sell tickets to this. I knew they couldn't sell tickets to it, so I bought discounted tickets, and I guess these people did the same thing.
Oh, okay.
So they weren't playing with a lot of money to begin with. I guess they don't have running water in their house.
It looked like there was a lot of people there tonight. It looked like it was packed to the rafters. But I did read that they were struggling to sell some tickets to the show. They were pushing packages and discounts, so maybe that's why it filled up. But
yeah, the tickets were I bought. They cut them down $50 or something like that. And the floor seats, they were pretty misleading. Usually they have a whole, I'll send you a photo. I actually do have a photo of it. The whole back end of the arena. Before the sections that are attached to the walls, the floor area was almost completely empty in the back. Really? They made it look full, but it was an optical illusion.
It was tricky. They were being tricksters. Well, I'm surprised you did this. I cannot believe you drove all the way to Philadelphia to watch this show, but more power to you.
Now we're in the rain.
Yeah, now you're in the rain. Yes.
You know what? The best part that came out of this was I got the Rumble pre-sale tickets, and so Wrestleview will be in the house.
Awesome.
In January at the Royal Rumble.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, sir. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. I will suffer for this website any day of the week.
Thank you, Mike. We do.
In fact, I will tomorrow for 3 hours of Raw.
Well, I guarantee it'll be better than what you got tonight. So that's something to look forward to. All right, Mike. Thanks, man.
All right, buddy.
That is Mike Tedesco, Mike Tabasco, as we call him, from Wrestleview.com, covers Raw for us. Mike's been in the house. He was in the house for WrestleMania a couple months ago, Douglas, and he was tweeting some killer photos. We made the front page of Twitter thanks to Mike, and he's been he even had a little hint at who was going to walk out at WrestleMania, the Hardy Boys, before they actually did. So if you're paying attention and following us, you would have kind of known a little bit beforehand. He kind of spoiled it for me.
Just a little clever note to a lot of conversations that we've been having as of late. That is what you call journalism.
That's called journalism. That's someone checking out stuff, looking into things.
And reporting it. Yeah, that's journalism, folks.
Journalism.
That is
crazy.
Straight from the source, uncontested. You cannot question what you see right there. That is journalism.
That's
right
good
there.
Stuff. We're working somewhat hard here on Wrestleview. So Mike liked the show because he went there live. I thought it fucking sucked. I'm sorry. Like
if that's the only reason that he has it, the show was great because I went to it live. You're just like,
and no, here's the thing. And I'm glad Mike had fun and sound like Victoria had fun.
Well, yeah.
So and that's cool. And that's kind of what, if you're going to, shell over some money for tickets and, gas money, and I mean, it's after midnight on the East Coast, so you want to, at least kind of somewhat enjoy yourself. But
not all of us on a random, Sunday go like, gee, honey, what do you want to do? I don't know what you want to do. Hey, let's go to a wrestling show that's a pay-per-view show that's, at least a decent drive away from us, but at least we'll get home in a decent hour. Not many of us get that kind of luxury.
No, not at all. Not at all. And I feel like I just have to start the Punjabi match because that was the selling point of the show. Was we weren't going to, you were talking about going back and watching the one from 10 years ago, but I guess in my head, I kind of remembered the stipulations, but I didn't. I totally forgot that they would open a door and there'd be 60 seconds. And if they didn't go through the door, then it would close. But at the same time, though, you could just climb over the top of the structure. So
you could just say fuck the spider holes and just climb.
Yeah, which it's like, okay. So I had this conversation with you, I think, on a previous podcast about how steel cage matches to me are a little stupid sometimes when you can see how fast someone can just climb out. But it's professional wrestling. I understand that. I'm not going to sit here and take it seriously, but
right.
There were aspects of it that were dreadfully boring. There were aspects of it that kind of came off pretty good. I liked when they would try to go for the opening and somebody would cut somebody off. I liked one of the Singh brothers, I don't know what his name was, getting tossed off the wall and taking the big bump. Excuse me.
George.
George or whatever his name is. I like the kendo stick getting involved. I like that stuff, and I was very surprised by the Great Khali appearance. I was not expecting that. So, you add those things in. Wasn't the worst match I've ever seen in my entire life, but it definitely left me. And I didn't really think Randy was going to win. I know there's been people that have been questioning why they're still going with Jinder right now, even though it hasn't really even been that, like 2 months, maybe not even 2 months. So it's still relatively, fresh. He seems very dedicated to the role he's been given. He's been doing a lot of mainstream interviews. We put a couple of them up on Wrestleview where, he's very dedicated to what he's doing right now and he wants to try to make it work. But I'm very curious where this takes us to SummerSlam because they set the table for a lot of stuff at SummerSlam tonight. But that one was, I don't want to see another Jinder Randy match at SummerSlam. I can tell you that much. That's going to That's going to be a hard sell. So it kind of felt like tonight was the blow off, but I don't know. I'm not a big fantasy booker. I prefer to see what they do and react to that versus sit here and tell you what I think they should do. So I'm curious what direction they go on Tuesday, what they have, factored in idea wise for what that SummerSlam spot's going to be for the WWE Championship. But man, that's going to be a hard sell, Doug, if they go with Randy and Jinder. What would that be, part 4, I think?
It'd be part 4.
Yeah, that's too much. Too much.
Yeah. So let's just kind of back up a little bit, and get away from the bamboo monstrosity that just happened in front of us. Okay. And kind of think ahead here. We have got 4 weeks to book SummerSlam. Okay. let's just go and put this out there right now. We can anticipate Randy Orton, Great Khali. We can anticipate that. Okay, I don't see Orton doing another title match. The problem right now is on that program, I can only think of maybe one person that I would interject into having a match with Jinder Mahal for the title, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's probably Nakamura. Only because, everyone likes singing his theme song, and, everyone really engages when he's in the ring. Okay. That's the only thing that I can think of when it comes to Mahal. And that's it for me doing my armchair booking right now. Okay. This match in particular. Okay. Yeah, it is utterly unwatchable. The structures are horrible by every stretch of the imagination. I think what amazed me kind of during the match is when they initially asked for the first door to be open and then it closed. And both of them, both Orton and Mahal, had this look on their face like, I don't know, like they just realized how one of those fidget spinners work. They had a look like, oh my God, what just happened? You guys know what just happened. We've been explaining the rules of this damn match for the past week. Stop it. But they got a look in astonishment because, it's pro wrestling, fantasy sports world, and, that's all well and good and everything. But this was, of the 3 matches that they've had of this horrible structure, horrible stipulation, this ironically was the best one because it did not involve some giant creature of a human trying to climb this monstrosity. I'm talking about a Big Show or an Undertaker or a Khali. That's what made those matches really bad. So you had 2 normal-sized human beings trying to scale this structure. Number 2, you had a lot more action in this match compared to the previous 2 prison matches. You had the guy falling off into a table, and that gets everyone's reaction, and then you had the Great Khali coming out. And I'll be quite honest, even though the little sing ragamuffins came out during the match, in my mind was like, someone else is going to come out. Someone else has to come out in this match to interfere on Mahal's behalf or be against Orton for some reason or another. Pulling the whole Bray Wyatt hates this guy for some random reason. So there's got to be someone in SmackDown that hates Randy Orton for a random reason, But nope, out comes, I heard Mahal's music kick up, and immediately my mind was like, oh my God, he's back. Oh, this giant is back, isn't he? And out waddles the Great Khali. I'm just like, oh, great, this is fantastic. I just don't care. People can complain that Khali is back with his, knees that you can hear grinding from 200 miles away. But I love the guy. He's just a circus freak of a creature to watch in the ring. Nothing can compete with this guy and what he does, okay? So I got no problem with him coming back. I have no problem with the end of the match. I just hope that I never see this stipulation again. It is horrible to watch by every stretch of the imagination.
Yeah,
I already did my armchair booking, so I'm done there.
No, that's fine. And I saw Jason Amico toss out John Cena as a possibility. I do want to talk about Nakamura tonight. No. Nakamura was awful tonight. But yeah, I guess I thought because we hadn't seen it in a long time, I tricked myself. I tricked my brain. I thought, oh, this should be fine. And it was kind of a new way to present a continuing feud between Orton and Cena, and Orton and Mahal. And I think that one needs to be put to bed for good, because Jinder Mahal was doing interviews this week talking about how, the Hell in a Cell match was like Undertaker's match. So he really wants to make the Punjabi Prison his match. And he really wants to, yeah, it's like, I don't think we need to be doing that one anymore. I think we need to chill out on that one. Let's go to Nakamura, because there was nothing really great about this show, so we can kind of bounce around. So I'm not gonna feel that bad, but
yeah, let's bounce around all the things that we found not appalling, but we have complaints about.
A little complaints about. So Nakamura and Baron Corbin had a match tonight, And I don't know what the goal was, but like they were trying to do kind of like babyface in peril stuff with Nakamura, and it just wasn't working. And I noticed this trend with his matches. It wasn't just the match with Baron Corbin. I watch a lot of his matches on SmackDown now, and this is in a TV environment, so it's out of the NXT environment. And once he goes about 10 minutes, even with commercial breaks, it's a rough go, man. The crowd, once they can't sing his theme song anymore, they just shut down. And it happened again tonight. And you could see like Corbin was saying funny shit. Like he was yelling at the crowd, like, I guess I'm doing pretty good, dummies. And they were booing back and stuff. But even he couldn't bring the crowd back into it. And the crowd was just deathly silent between these two guys. And I did like the low blow finish. I thought that was good because that just keeps, Corbin looking like a piece of shit and walking around with the briefcase. And it's kind of what they're trying to do with him. But man, this match sucked. It was terrible. It was not good. It was weird pacing. I'm not sure what the end game was, but not good. I mean, this was a big, big miss for both of these guys. I don't know if I can put the blame on one, or I kind of want to put it on both. I think they're both responsible for what they're putting out there. And it was not good. It was not good.
Well, my thing is I can't necessarily blame Corbin because he was doing everything that someone in his role in that kind of match is supposed to do to get a reaction out of the crowd. You bark back at them when they're singing, or you bark back at them when they're saying something. You've got your rest spot and you're grinding away at the baby face, and you say something bad about him. You yell at the ref. You yell at everything. He was doing everything on his part to make his character convincing, to make you engaged in this match. Nakamura, though, oh my God, just because you can scream doesn't mean that we're convinced that you're in peril and you're going to get back into this match. Okay? He was just drab awful. Okay? And I don't know, and this is an anomaly. Okay? I mean, this is his second pay-per-view match, his first one being against Dolph Ziggler. But this is his first match on a pay-per-view in a major event to where he is in this babyface in peril perspective. This is the first time he's in this. He was never really in this in any way, shape, or form with NXT, maybe a couple of times, but never on this grand scale where he is now. Okay? I just don't know about him right now. Once people sing his theme song, after that, they're just like, well, I got my kicks in. I don't care what happens after this.
And that presentation is out of this world awesome. I love his entrance. I love the crowd interaction. I love his weird, derpy, goofy stuff that he does. He has that down good. So by no means am I sitting here saying that I think Nakamura sucks. I think there's a lot of potential there. But you're right. For some reason, he's having this issue where, and someone, I'm going to give them credit in the chat. It was, let me check. Conan Kudo is saying in the chat that Nakamura gets lazy. I totally agree with that. You can tell during the match.
Yeah, sure.
He's just, and I don't know if it's a language barrier or if he's just not communicating with his opponent, but he just kind of goes, well, I guess I'm going to go do this and I'm going to throw some elbows and kicks, and the crowd's just sitting there going, oh, all right, I guess we'll go with this. But yeah, it's a work in progress. So I know you had fantasy booked him against Jinder at SummerSlam. I don't know if he's even ready for that at this point. I think he needs a little bit more time.
Well, my problem is I can't think of anyone else. That's my problem right now. To me, I know we talk so much about how much better SmackDown is compared to Raw. But honestly, in the long run, this is where they're going to fail. Okay? I don't know who they've built up to be able to be in a main event title match outside of Randy Orton. It cannot be Cena. It cannot be John Cena. It has to be someone else. Okay? They can't rely on him anymore. He is now the part-timer, even though he says otherwise. He's not that anymore. It can't be AJ Styles. He's too busy with the United States title. He's not going to pull a Seth Rollins. Okay? They aren't going to do that. They haven't built up anyone to a level to be able to get up and be viable and, convincing enough to be worthy of a title match of some kind. Unless, who knows what they got planned in these next 4 weeks. I really don't know. I can't wait to talk about how I thought incredibly horrible AJ Styles Kevin Owens was.
Let's talk about it. Go for it.
I thought, oh God, I fell asleep. Seriously, I fell asleep.
It was slow
during this match. It was bad. Mm-hmm. Why are we doing a headlock rest spot 3 minutes into the match? Why? What have you done that constitutes there be a rest spot for that long? I mean, you guys can't be winded from Madison Square Garden from 3 days ago. Come on. Why are we... And right when that rest spot happened, like the first time it goes through, I'm slowly nodding off. And then, AJ gets out of it and like, okay, what's going on? No, go right back at it again. And I'm like, oh, shit. No, I knocked out. I'm fading in and out. I'm hearing the commentary going on. And then suddenly, AJ gets a build back up, and I'm slowly waking up. I look at the screen. No, okay. Now suddenly he takes the shoulder spot into the apron. Now his shoulder hurts. I'm like, oh, great. Now we're going to have another rest spot and attacking on a limb that was never attacked on for the past 8-9 minutes of this match. I'm fading away again. This match had no continuity, had no seeming formula whatsoever. The only thing that we knew about this that the commentators were telling us is that Owens was pissed that he lost the title. It's the worst thing that ever happened to him, and he wants to get it back. But it sure as hell never showed in this match. Okay? If that was the worst night of Owens' career, Owens should have been just laying into Styles by every means that he can. Okay? Taking every measure that he can to make sure that he gets the sucker back. The ref goes down. And there's no heelish behavior. He wins clean when the ref comes to. This match was horrible. Made no sense to me whatsoever. I don't know who it helps or who it hurts. I just don't know. I want this program to be put on the kibosh quicker than I want Jinder Orton to. This was horrible. This should never happen again.
I don't know if I hated it as much as you did. I didn't think it was that great. I'm with you on that, but I didn't really hate the finish. I kind of liked the what the hell finish where Styles had the crossface on, and then Owens just strategically turned him on his back, kept him on his shoulders, and won. And then AJ was just like, "Is it over?" I liked the finish, but
SpaghettiOs.
It was an SpaghettiOs moment, but. The win in Madison Square Garden was kind of an SpaghettiOs. Like, I wasn't expecting, like, why do that there? Because it's MSG? Like, okay. So the whole concept of this was a little goofy kind of to begin with, if you think about it. But I'm with you on that, though. Frank in the chat has an interesting point, which I'm curious if you agree or disagree with. He said that he is not feeling he said he's on the boat about AJ not being as good as he's being touted. I disagree because I've been shocked at how well he's been in the ring, how fast he's adapted. I guess that's because and I don't know how long Frank has been watching AJ. I've been watching him since 2001. So to see him, how he was in TNA, and then to see what he is now is night and day. I mean, obviously he still kept a lot of the offense, but he works a lot smarter than he used to. It's been over we're going on 2 years of AJ in this company in January, which is pretty crazy to think about.
We're looking at now probably a year and a half. We're about 18 months now.
We're in that. So he's done a lot. I think he's a good hand. I think he surprised a lot of people backstage. I think they were kind of expecting him to fail. I had at least 2 people I know that worked there say that was the kind of the spin on him, was that we're just kind of waiting for him to fail, and he didn't. He stepped up. But yeah, I'm ready for them to move on from the Kevin Owens stuff between those two guys, and maybe AJ could be a potential Jinder Mahal opponent at SummerSlam if they set up some kind of some kind of a number 1 contendership, because they got a lot of weeks to fill coming up before SummerSlam. But
I don't question AJ's ability at all.
Okay.
I mean, he's been absolutely fabulous. I don't question him at all. Nor do I question Kevin Owens for that matter. I mean, he puts on some great matches as well. It's just whatever the heck these two guys had in mind for this match and the environment and in the situation they're in to try to tell a story going past MSG, it fell flat on its face. I mean, I don't know what the hell they were trying to do, but I hope it never happens again, you know.
What did you think of the flag match between John Cena and Rusev? Because I was not a fan. I'll be honest with you. I guess here's my issue with John is that when he wants to, man, he can have fucking great matches. And tonight felt like, let's just, we'll go out there and we'll do some stuff and I'll put you through a couple tables and, bingo, bango, bongo. It just I did not. No, it was weird because he sold the match. I don't know if you saw his promo last Tuesday, but he went ultra running for Congress or Senate or president on everybody, and talking about the flag and what it represents and, talking about all these great historical good and bad moments in the history of America. And he gets you all fired up, and then they do the cheap, heel bullshit thing where Rusev attacks him. And then tonight it was just like they were just like, well, I guess we gotta do something. And I had no problem with the stipulation. I know I saw a lot of people attacking that on Twitter, and that was my issue.
Stop it.
I was just upset with the execution. It just as soon as Rusev set up the tables, I'm like, oh well, he's going through the tables. It's like I know where this is happening. So it felt like Doug I was at a house show. It was like, oh, I know where this is going. And I hate to be pretentious asshole wrestling fan going, well, I could see that coming a mile away, but you kind of could, and that takes me out of it a little bit. So sorry.
I guess mine is I did watch last week's his little rousing pep rally, and I just really couldn't help but while he was talking just kind of sit there going you're just humming along whatever patriotic anthem you want. Yeah, it's typical John Cena. That's what he does, But then this match, I can tell when this match was going on, in his mind, he's like, I remember this stuff 2 years ago. Set it on cruise control. We got this. No problem. Yeah, it's 2015. You came out in a tank. We got this. No problem. No, not so much. The podiums I don't have a problem with. I like it that they had those podiums.
I did too.
There.
I like those.
I mean, it adds to the effect. I mean, it adds to a climax, okay? It's a lot better than it's better to have someone plant a flag to end a match than it is to yank a flag out.
Yeah.
Because let's all face it, when we get to plant something in, that's a reason to rejoice. When we pull something out, it's more for relief's sake,
Yes. Nice. I
had to get the sexual innuendo.
I was just waiting for you to make a joke, so good job.
But no, this whole match was on cruise control.
Yeah.
This whole match was
autopilot
on cruise control.
Yeah.
Okay, severe autopilot.
Not to mention how fucking loud John Cena is when he's audibly calling spots. Like, wow, is he loud? Like there's people that obviously kind of, I heard Randy and Jinder talking to each other a couple times tonight, but that, you could hear John, I could upwards of 10 different times just loudly calling the next spot. I'm like, does he not realize that these mics can pick up, there's a way to talk, or even a lot of times guys will lock up and they'll kind of whisper something, but he's just I audibly heard him all night. If you missed the match, and I really wouldn't recommend going back and watching it, to be honest with you, but if you want to, just listen, just turn your headphones up and listen, and you can hear John call every, spot. And Frank is saying, I must have hearing problems. I don't hear Cena. He is so loud, and this isn't the first time. He has a reputation for that. He basically makes up a good chunk of Botchamania videos with how loud he is during matches. But it just surprises me that he continues to do that so often.
I wish that I could have front row seats during his matches, and I'm in the view of the camera, so that when he does call his spots, I would hold up a sign that says 10-4.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha, bud. That's awesome.
10-4. Roger, good buddy. Because by God, man, you can hear him. you know what's going to be happening. I mean, if you want to learn wrestling lingo, watch every single John Cena match.
By the way, according to Grash in the chat, you're a prev. I think he was trying to say perv, but you're a prev. So apparently people did not appreciate your sexual innuendo, but I appreciated it, Doug. So good stuff.
Well, I know. A lot of people in the Midwest, they have very sexual humor tendencies. I know you would appreciate that. Those who are not from the Midwest, they're just triggered right now.
Very, very triggered. I would like to point out two things that made me smile tonight. The first is, did you smile? Yeah, I did smile a couple times. The one time I did smile was Lana, when she would get in the ring and she would just yell a lot. And for some reason, Lana yelling is one of my favorite things about this company. She was yelling on the outside. She was smacking people and kicking people and yelling more. And then she got in the ring and yelled some more. And I don't know what it is about her yelling. And she used to do this all the time in Rusev matches. She would just start yelling in Russian on the outside, but she just, I don't know. She does it very, very well. So
I need more of her. I mean, God, her trash talking in Russian. Oh, I got a stiffy.
And she's not that, obviously she's not, I like the fact that she's not that great in the ring, because that to me makes her stand out, because there's all these everyone, jerks off to Charlotte and Becky Lynch and Natalya and, but not so much Naomi, because Naomi has that. Oh, she used to be a backup dancer for Brodus Clay, so she's not a real wrestler. But I like the fact that Lana kind of is sloppy and shitty in the ring, because it makes her stand out. You kind of need that balance. You can't have everyone being a ring technician that has 5-star matches, and it's just you gotta kind of mix it up a little bit. But I like the fact that she kind of sucks in the ring. I mean, that's what I like about her. Then her yelling in Russian, it's great.
The best thing that I can think of to describe Lana in real sense is, this is a diva. Everyone else is, the female superstars. This is the old school diva. This is the, Alicia Fox of old, the Eve Torres of old, the Maria of old. All of those female spokeswomen that, they're just up there because they look really sexy, but they're trying to do wrestling moves. This is the callback to them. Okay. I don't care about any kind of maneuvers that she's doing in there, as long as she is slapping people in the face, tugging people by the hair, and screaming in Russian. That's all I care about. Okay. I don't need to hear any kind of, mat psychology when it comes to my female wrestling. Okay. Let that be for the Charlottes and the Beckys and all of the others that started this whole stupid revolution thing. I need someone yanking hair, slapping hoes in the face, and calling them ugly. That's Lana.
Slapping hoes in the face. I like that. That's a good description.
Yes. Yes, that's what I want. Everyone else can jerk off to an STF or a figure 4. I'm going to jerk off to a slap in the face.
All the Beck-sploders. Okay. I hate that they call it a Beck-sploder. It's like, ugh. I hate when they create stupid names for... It's just so dumb. We all know what it is. The other thing that made me smile...
Oh, it's an Adamplex. It's an Adamplex.
It's an Adamplex.
It's a Doug-a-rooney.
It's a Doug kick. I know, it's so stupid. It's like, shut up.
It's a Doug punch.
It's a Doug punch. I loved Mike and Maria Kanellis doing an Eskimo kiss over Sami Zayn on the ground. This gimmick is so fucking ridiculous that I just can't, between the terrible 80s music, which is so I was singing that out loud. I wish I was live when I was waiting for your mic problem to fix itself. That music is so intoxicating to your brain.
This is the greatest.
Oh, it's so great. I wish I could play it. I would get. Doug's doing a good job. I would get yanked off YouTube if I play it. It's so great. And then just the dumb stuff they do, he blew a kiss to Maria and she caught it at ringside and smiled. And then halfway through the match, he beats up Sami Zayn and he leans through the middle rope, Doug, and he kisses her. And then the referee gets mad and she's like, I didn't do anything. I just kissed him. And it's just, and like, I think Nicholas Gray nicknamed him the cuck. Cause it's just this, it's a silly gimmick. He always wears some kind of attire with like her face on it. He had like weird, like kissy lips all over his trunks tonight.
It's like Rick Rude.
It's totally Rick Rude. It's Rick Rude if he was a cuck. It's just like the best. Like he's got his wife's last name and like she twirls him. He doesn't twirl her. Like it's so ridiculous and I love it. So there was like little bright spots to the show tonight. And that was,
yeah.
That's good shit. I love those guys. So they have my vote.
Who can be angry at this? I got to think, who can be angry at this?
People without a sense of humor, probably.
Like, is it the people that watched him at Ring of Honor and are anticipating like some real power couple or something, you know? Because by God, if you are frowning when this is happening, then your dick doesn't work. It must not.
A little hitting hard home
seriously. This is absolutely fabulous. If people are calling for any one of this couple to get a title, they need to be shot.
Well, they could eventually do. See, honestly though, I will say this: if they go in that direction with like, I don't know, like a U.S. title or something, and Maria is the one to walk around with the title and not Mike, I think would be hilarious. Just it writes itself, just like her saying, "Well, this is mine. This is not yours." You know. I helped you get this, you know, so it's mine. And
won't it be even better when Maria gets the women's title and Mike is carrying the women's title around?
That would be wonderful. That would be wonderful.
Oh my!
If Maria wrestles,
that is actually what I'm anticipating: is Maria winning the women's title, but Mike carrying it around.
There's just so much possibility with this. I know it doesn't have like the longest shelf life, but for now, I'm loving every second of it. So I hope they can get as much as they can out of it. Any thoughts on the tag title match? I didn't think it was good as the Money in the Bank one last month, but it was pretty good. Little surprised that they decided to put the titles on the New Day, but I guess they want to. I don't know. I guess they want to mix things up, Douglas, in the tag division. That's apparently dying.
I like how it was a change of pace that Big E was not in it.
It's interesting. Yeah.
You know, I thought it was a great change of pace that Big E was not in this title match, just because. Let's go ahead and say it. New Day's tag matches have been incredibly predictable and formulaic.
Oh yeah,
to where Big E gets the hot tag. You know, it's refreshing to see. You know, let's put him on the sideline and not do anything, and just let it be Kofi and Xavier with the Usos. And it was not as at the edge of your seat suspenseful as the Money in the Bank match was. But it was still an entertaining match nonetheless. I mean, there were some great cut-off 3-count spots in this match. But it's, again, what I really like about these two going against each other is that finishers don't feel like finishers, okay? And some of the moves that they do call finishers are still so simple, okay? It's not, you know, it's not a typical Undertaker match where you know what the finisher is and they're going to kick out of it. No, it's in a tag match, someone bum rushing in to cut off the 3-count. You know, I really, really like that in these kind of matches. They're definitely going to go at it again in SummerSlam. I got no problem with that.
Yeah.
You know, I could see these guys go at it for the next 4 or 5 pay-per-views, just as long as they change it up. You know, it'll get stale real quick. So
they work well together, so that's always a plus.
They do really work well together. Yeah,
they work incredibly well together. So that was usually by this point we're doing our hot takes, but it's just a weird show. It wasn't very good. They got, what did you say, 4 weeks until SummerSlam? Is it 4 or 3?
Yeah, they got 4 weeks. They got 4 weeks to build.
You're right. They got 4 weeks. Okay. And maybe, okay, here's another question. Is it because, well, for me, it was 3 wrestling pay-per-views this month, but it was 2 WWE pay-per-views in 1 month, separated by a week. So maybe that didn't, I mean, I know there were 2 different brands, 2 different stories, and 2 different rosters, but, you know, I had people when I was, I was tweeting out on this morning the card for the show, and people were replying, wait, there's a pay-per-view tonight? Like, they had no idea. Like, there was a large chunk of people going, I had no idea there's a pay-per-view tonight. So I don't know if it's just too much content in the course of 2 weeks, even though we had a week break last Sunday, but maybe that doesn't help matters either, doing that. So I don't know. That's my thought.
I don't know either. It's the only thing is that all that we really know that's happening with SummerSlam is I think we already have the one match. Oh wow, I totally forgot that vaginas were on this pay-per-view.
Well, we talked about Alana a little bit, but Natalya got the win, so I was surprised by that. But
oh boy, I
have to tell you though,
Naomi, Natalya.
I have to say this though, and you can rail on me all you want for this, but how many fucking championship matches are we going to watch Charlotte in? Like, let's cool down on that for a little bit. Like, it's weird. It's weird to see her as a babyface. First of all, right now, I hate the stupid tea time thing her and Becky Lynch do. It's not funny. It's stupid. But that was kind of like, as soon as she got brought from Raw to SmackDown, that was the story. It was like, oh, well, Charlotte's here, so she's got to be in a championship match. It's like, no, she doesn't have to be. And I think we really need to cool down on the Charlotte stuff. Like, she's had what, Doug? Like, well over a year now. She had all the history making, bullshit stuff with Sasha Banks. Like, we've had enough of that stuff. Let's take a break.
Yeah.
I know probably Natalya is not, she's obviously somebody we goof about and we make fun of, but let's try something a little different, because we've already seen Lana and Naomi, and I liked the story they were telling there, where Naomi was getting, or Lana was getting close to beating her, but would always lose. But you can't do that again at SummerSlam. So
right,
maybe they'll do something interesting. I don't know, but I could not watch another Charlotte championship match. I just couldn't. So I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it.
But are you ready for the family history of the Hart and Neidhart family again?
But I would rather sit through.
That's the only thing you're going to get out of this.
Which is, well, I'm not expecting her
What are
to
they
win.
going to tell? The only other storyline that I can think of from doing this is that Natalie's old and she wants to get a title,
which is fine. I get that, and you're making very valid points too. I won't deny that. But man, I can't sit through another Charlotte title match, where she's crying and.
Nor am I asking for another Charlotte title match. I would actually prefer it to be Becky and Charlotte coming in to swerve on her.
Maybe.
Or I prefer it being Tamina against her and Lana interfering for Tamina to get the title.
Tamina could have been interesting.
Something like that. You can do anything you want in this, but by God, of all the options you have, do I really have to sit through another family history of Natalya telling me why she believes she is the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be?
Do you know who my family is, Doug? Tyson. Tyson, come here.
I'm afraid to show my midriff.
I'm afraid to show my midriff. How rude of you, Douglas.
Oh, I have a pooch. Oh.
How rude of you. That was a very rude comment by one Doug Lackey. That was a...
Well, if it ain't true, convince me. Okay.
Oh, boy. Doug Lackey just spitting the heat tonight on the podcast. I like it. It's good stuff.
I got you hot take right here.
That was a hot take. So that was the Battleground show that SmackDown attempted to present this evening. I was not thrilled with it. I'm going to look at the let's take a look at the poll. Doug's favorite portion of the program. I don't care what these people say on the goddamn poll, but it's still fun. I like to see what people think. Let's see. 56% giving it a thumbs down, Douglas.
Of how much again?
56% thumbs down. 26% are in the middle, and 18% gave it a thumbs up. That is as of a little after midnight Eastern, going on 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern.
Well,
Standard Time.
those 18% are being affected by the heat wave that just passed through most of the eastern part of the country. So, yeah.
Conan keeps asking us repeatedly in the chat, and I keep forgetting the answer. Was this show as bad as December to Dismember? No. Wasn't that bad. I can't. It's hard for me to take a product from now to compare it to like 10 years ago. Like, that's just, it's not fair. Can't do that. That's rude.
No. We aren't making comparisons.
It just
here.
wasn't
we can
a very
tell you how bad something is.
Okay? Yeah, it just wasn't a very strong show. Like, once in a while, they're they're just going to shit the bed, and they shit the bed tonight. So it wasn't good. Anybody trying to tell you this was even moderately good has no standards or practices for good television. This is a fucking awful show. But, you know, Great Khali kind of made me giggle. Lana yelling kind of made me giggle. Mike and Maria kissing and smooching gave me some giggles. But
I mean, yes, it was. Let me see. There's a difference between, man, this was, you know, slit your wrists awful, and man, this was toilet snake up your ass awful.
You could have. Here's the thing, though. You could have literally skipped this entire show and missed nothing. That's my point. Is that.
Well, yeah.
You didn't watch tonight, you didn't miss anything. That's the problem. So, like, yeah, if you sat down, you wanted something to do for 3 hours tonight, you didn't want to watch Game of Thrones or, you know, whatever, I guess you got something, but it sucked. It wasn't
There's
very
nothing
good.
watching this show that would make you want to convert to Catholicism or something.
No,
it wasn't
nothing.
That
wasn't that. Yeah, it wasn't. I guess I should be careful how mean I get when I describe something, but I thought it sucked. I was not a fan, but, you know. It is what it is. Happens. It's, you know, I hate using the summer excuse, but it's July 23rd. So, you know, they're not going to be hitting for the fences.
Look, the past two pay-per-views they had were pretty good.
Okay? Yeah,
we were pleasantly surprised by Money in the Bank and by Great Balls of Fire.
Yes.
You know, dear God, Great Balls of Fire, we thought was just going to be drab awful. You know, I mean, they can't get them out of the park all of the time.
Which is fine.
Okay.
I agree with that. They can't.
Yeah.
We have very high standards. A little too high, I think, sometimes. So, yeah.
Can we talk about Kurt Angle's new Black Sun?
If you want to, yeah, we can close with that. Let's close with the new Black Sun discussion. So I have to tell you, when I saw it, so I never watch Raw live anymore. I'm either, I almost said something kind of douchey, so I'm not going to say it. I'm usually
why not?
Because it sounds douchey when you say you exercise. Because then people are like, "Oh, great, you exercise, Adam? Why don't you tell me about it?" Because like everyone's like, "Shut up, nobody cares."
But Adam, this is the first time we've ever heard of you exercising, so you don't necessarily sound douchey. Okay?
How dare you, Douglas? Yeah. Anyway, Monday night, usually around that time, I'm doing other things to better myself.
You're doing laps. You're doing squats.
I'm not doing
tossing
squats.
a medicine ball around.
No, I'm not doing any of that.
You give someone a third grade concussion with a kettlebell. What are you doing?
I do use kettlebells. Yeah.
I knew you would.
I do use kettlebells. I do like them, but I'm usually doing that, and I will occasionally open up my phone and just kind of see what's going on Raw, because you can see clips and pictures and stuff. But I made a conscious effort for the first time. I said, let's get this shit out of the way so that I can make dinner and watch this big Kurt Angle announcement. And I didn't know when, but I figured, well, at the very least, it'll be maybe second hour, top of the third hour. So I did time it actually pretty well. I was surprised. I have the DVR, so if I had to fast forward, I could. But I actually timed it up to as the show was live. And I was like, and I tweeted out, I said, like, do your worst, man. This is they got me to tune in, because there was all this like hype on Twitter. Like, is Dixie Carter going to walk out, Doug? Is she going to be, his like secret lover? A lot of people did guess the whole, illegitimate son thing. So I will admit this, Doug, when he said Jason Jordan and Jason Jordan walked out and Kurt Angle legit was crying, which hell of a job on his part as a performer. Like, wow, that was impressive. I was like, ooh, I don't know about this. And the crowd reaction was very quiet. They hugged, they embraced. The reaction was very dull. I wrote on Twitter, I was like, oh boy, swing and a miss. And I wrote, man, this is why, and a lot of people were tweeting me like, why? I see why you probably don't watch the show live anymore, because of stuff like this. Like, they built something up and then it just kind of sucks. And then maybe this is bad of me, but as soon as the segment was over and people started putting out the Family Guy, My Black Son stuff, and then I saw this ridiculous promo, or it wasn't a promo, it was like an interview with Renee Young did with Jason.
They did an interview after the show. Yeah. When
I saw that, I fucking lost it. And I went, okay, like, and it's rare that this happens, but sometimes something will just go over my, and this one went over my head at first, but it clicked for me when I saw the interview. I laughed at the My Black Son stuff. Obviously that was not anything the WWE put out. That was just people being funny on Twitter. But as soon as I saw that whole thing come together, I was like, okay, the possibilities with this are endless. Like, he could be lying, Doug. He could be lying to Kurt Angle so he can better himself in this company. Maybe he is telling the truth and Kurt's his daddy, so daddy needs to get me a title. There's just so many things that started running through my head. All the while, the internet was really, really pissed off about it. And I was kind of the same way, but I turned the corner on it. I'm curious to hear how you react to it live, and then the fallback and all that stuff.
Well, like, I guess I got to start off with, I'm kind of like you. Like, I don't watch Raw live. I tune into it either the next day, or I try to tune into it that same night, but way further into the night so that I can bypass commercials and all of that stuff. And so I tune in, I get on my cable box about 10:15 to catch the beginning of Raw and fast forward. And so I get up to the Kurt Angle spot. And the way that my apartment is laid out, like, it's a living room, open area into a kitchen, and off to the left side you have my girlfriend's office, and to the right side we have the bedroom. Left side, the girlfriend's in the office, and she's working and everything. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching Raw, catching up on it, and we get to the Kurt Angle thing. As my girlfriend walks over and she's fixing herself a drink or whatnot, and she looks up, and she always does this when I'm watching Raw or wrestling, she'll just ask what's happening, or she'll look and, she doesn't care what's happening. She's just trying to sound like, like, hey, honey, what you doing? And so, to my awkward dismay, the Kurt Angle spot comes on. She walks in, she fixes her drink, and I'm watching it, and I'm looking at it like a dog that's been shown a card trick. My head is cocked diagonally, and I'm processing it, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And then behind me, I hear, honey, why is that white guy hugging the black guy? and I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, that's a hard
I've got
one.
to explain this
to
my girlfriend, who does not watch wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
What just happened? There's the one that's been telling me it's a male soap opera. How do I explain this?
It's that moment we talked about back in the VIP days, where if someone walked in the room and you had to explain it, how would you feel? And that was your moment right there. That was your nightmare.
This was my moment. Okay.
Yeah.
And I basically told her, yeah, honey, the black guy is the white guy's illegitimate son.
I love it.
And she gave me this look of, like, it wasn't disgust, but it wasn't astonishment either. It was like a mixture of the two.
It was like,
but it was also like a look of pure humiliation at me. I'm like, and she responded with, "And you watch this?
You take time out of your day."
Like, yeah, I go, yeah, and I talk to people on the internet about it too.
People are listening to you right now talk about it.
Yeah,
thousands of people.
She was like, okay, well, you have fun with that, honey.
Cool. Good stuff.
I tried my damnedest to be defensive. I was like, okay, you go back to your office and watch your murder porn.
Oh, yeah.
You have fun.
Isn't it funny how girls...
And she was like, well...
No, girls watch that stuff, but yeah, we're silly because we're watching, Kurt Angle and Jason Jordan, my Black Sun stuff. But
okay, so I fill you in on what my personal experience was with the story. Now, looking on it now we're back to the podcast here, talking about what we think of blah, 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 blah. Yeah, me cocking my head diagonally about this, I'm like, okay, I see where you guys are going. Yeah, this leaves us open with, if I'm getting Goofy Kurt and happy white boy black man Jason Jordan,
oh yeah,
I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, please give me more of this.
Did you happen to catch the tweet that he put out I think it was the next day. It was. So Dash Wilder of The Revival puts out this tweet, Doug.
Oh, God, yes.
And he says they're undefeated against the New Day, the Hardys. They said, when do we get our title shot, Kurt Angle? And then he added Jason Jordan and said, can you ask Daddy for us? And then Jason Jordan says, I would ask, but we're a little busy catching up. And it's a Photoshop picture of him and Kurt embracing in the ring on the front of a roller coaster ride. And it's like, this is the stupid shit that is going to be so great about this, that I think from first glance, wrestling fans just missed that. I totally admit being part of that. I just totally missed it. Went right over my head. Then once I saw some of this other stuff, like this stuff, like this tweet, I put it up on the screen, and that it just totally clicks right there. Like, that's funny. Like, I get it. So there's a lot of possibility here with Kurt being the daddy. And
it's when I saw that tweet and I saw the interview. I watched the interview a couple of days later about it and everything. I'm like, this is why I watch wrestling. Okay, this is why right here.
Yeah.
Okay, stupid shit like this.
Stupid dumb
that
stuff.
puts me in those awkward situations. Okay, this is why I watch it. It's so funny. Okay, if you're angry about this and taking it seriously, I'm not going to tell you what you need to do. Okay, there's no hope for you at all. You know,
some people
seriously. Look at the tweet. Look at that.
It's silly. It's intended to be silly, everybody. But yeah, I was actually gonna Photoshop Doug hugging me as the embrace for the graphic, but it was a Raw show, so we had to do Doug choking out John Cena as Rusev. But that has potential in the future. Maybe if they do more Curdy and Jason Jordan stuff, we'll have a future. If
they got a match coming up on a pay-per-view, we'll go ahead and do that.
Yes, we will. There we go. See, that there's more possibility. My son's first singles pay-per-view match, and Kurt just smiling in the back and just stupid stuff like that. It's possibilities are endless.
Can we have Kurt putting the contract of Jason Jordan's first match on a magnet on a refrigerator? Can we do that,
just
please?
Being so excited for his son. Like, oh, my son, he did it. He got his first singles contract, and I'm so happy. I'm so proud of him. It's gonna be great. All right, so I am a little excited, Doug. I shouldn't probably say this out loud on the podcast because people will find it rude, but we're gonna have like a 3-week break.
Yes! Oh,
so we're gonna have a little bit of a podcast break. So that'll be kind of nice, unless something. So I'm doing these, and I'm gonna see how they go for a couple weeks. But I'm doing these Global Force Wrestling press or conference calls rather.
They have conference calls now?
They just started doing them, and they did one with Jeff Jarrett that I couldn't make 2 weeks ago. I did make the one this past Wednesday with Grado, Jeremy Borash, and Abyss, and it was a total mess because like Grado was like making food in the background and dropping things, and I got to ask him a question. My favorite part of asking him a question was at the very end. I asked him a question about his videos going viral because we talked about it on the podcast, and then at the very end, he's like, "Did I answer your question good?" I'm doing a bad Scottish accent, but he's like, "Did I answer your question?" Like he said it really loud. He's like, "I don't know if I answered your question," but it was just great. He gave it this like very detailed answer, and that he wasn't sure if he answered the question right. So I'm gonna. I don't know who's on the call this Wednesday, but I'll put up audio again if I ask a question. That is, but so we'll be putting those clips up. I've had a lot of people ask me if we can start uploading old VIP audio, old Wrestling News Live audio. I need to do that. I just gotta. I need like context though, like maybe shows we did in July and August. You know, back in the day, like maybe that could work. Maybe something like that. I just feel like tossing something out there for the hell of it.
Well, yeah. We need people asking like give us like the moment that you're thinking of.
Yeah, where there's
a lot of moments that we had on our shows.
There's a lot, so we have a lot of content. I need to figure it out. So we'll do more of that stuff. But I am going to be taking a vacation in like 2 weeks, so I'm happy. I hardly ever take vacations now, so I am turning everything off wrestling related for a week. So that's going to be nice. So
I've got my birthday is next week.
That's right. The
week after that, I'm going to the beach.
Nice. See, we need a little. So we've done a lot of podcasts. We did 3 this month, actually. Believe it or not. So
more than we were even anticipating. Yeah. We weren't anticipating to do this many. Okay.
No, we really weren't, because we were kind of just like, oh, we'll come on after pay-per-views. And Frank goes, do pay-per-views by month and then trickle down from weekly TV. Could do that, but that's a lot. He's talking about the old content, not suggesting we.
Oh, right.
Suggesting we do that for this podcast, but there's just the addition of the brand, bringing back the brand split again, and then putting more pay-per-views out. So there's just been more shows to cover in the summertime. So it just kind of worked out that way. But we'll be off for the next 3 weeks unless something happens where we need to do a podcast, and then That'll be SummerSlam, which is a 4-hour spectacular, Douglas. That's gonna be,
for the love of
yeah,
fuck.
they're still doing 4 hours for this.
Hey,
show.
did you know Jay-Z is from Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Damn it.
there'll be a lot of that stuff. So got a lot of promos tonight. So we have that to look forward to. So a couple weeks off, it'll be nice, and we'll be back fresh for SummerSlam. So we do appreciate that. We've definitely.
Yep, I'll be sunburnt and old. Yeah,
that'll be nice. We really have started to build some stuff up here on YouTube. I'm seeing definitely more people. So obviously, if you listen to us on YouTube, subscribe. We appreciate that. And if I'm seeing an uptick and stuff, so maybe we might have an opportunity to do quick little bits of content, maybe not full on long hour plus podcasts, but maybe, jump on here for, 15, 20 minutes, do something. And if people and have been enjoying this stuff, we've been doing it for almost a year now, but not on YouTube. But I think since January we've been on YouTube. So going on 8 months now of stuff. So it's getting good reaction. So I'm pleased with that, because we made a lot of different transitions with the live shows. So we were on Twitch for a while, then we did Facebook Live, and now we've settled in nice to YouTube. So I've been enjoying it. It's been a good time, Douglas. So I got nothing else to say.
Oh yeah, I've been liking it too. Just as long as my microphone doesn't decide to say that I'm not allowed to talk about the Great Khali.
We'll figure that one out, because I actually have some extra.
Oh yeah,
some extra equipment that I should send your way. So we'll get that figured out. Douglas. Ooh, nice. It'll be nice. It'll be lovely. Ooh. All right. Any parting shots, Doug? Are you gonna look for? I'm assuming you're looking forward to the 3-week break, because I am.
Oh, I am so looking to the forward to the 3-week break. Yesterday, my girlfriend and we made a trip to the liquor store across the state line in South Carolina, where liquor is not taxed as heavily as it is in North Carolina. And so I dropped down $200 worth of stuff.
I saw the photo. Can I share the photo, or do you want people wanting to see the photo?
Oh, go ahead and share the photo. Go ahead and share the photo. That's fine.
It was a powerful photo. I'm going to get it up here while you talk about it. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, So yeah, it's one of those months where you have like 3 paychecks in a month, and you're like, oh wow, I got this extra money. What do? You get liquored up. You get a lot of
booze. That's what you do. Yeah.
You get a lot of booze, and so we stocked up. I got my scotch. I got my vodka. We made some great margaritas when we got back from the store. She found like this all fruit, like no sweet and sour mix crap margarita. It was great.
Did you put this on the Trey and Adam show page, or did you put it on your personal page?
No, I put it on the Trey and Adam show page.
Ah, that's why. Okay, let me try to find it here. There's a lot of people.
Yeah, I put it on the Trey and Adam show page because I'm now well prepared the next time you ask me if you want me to help you with some TNA, GFW, TGIF, LOL, DTF stuff.
I see. Okay, let me toss this up on the screen. So this is all the booze that Doug owns. That's a lot. So you got some Captain Morgan. You got some vodka. You got your black label that you like. A lot of mixes.
I got the black label.
Yeah, that's some good stuff.
And she went good too. She got some kind of like elderflower liqueur that she's going to mix with her wine.
It's very nice.
We also got some Haitian rum. It's non-spiced rum.
I have no idea what that is, but it sounds good. I'll try it. I'm down.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. We're all going to just get shit-faced and everything and be prepared for the next wrestling podcast.
You're all stocked up for the Christmas show that we'll do this year as well. So
no, that stuff ain't going to survive.
I was going to say till December. You got to get it to hold up there. And there's how I record the show, everybody. All right, so let's get the fuck out of here, Doug. We're gonna take vacation for 3 weeks. We're gonna enjoy ourselves. I'm gonna enjoy vacation. So's Douglas, and then we'll be back here for SummerSlam in a couple weeks.
The vacation time, brothers. Vacation time, brothers.
All right, everybody. If you enjoyed the show, obviously subscribe to us here on YouTube. Look up Wrestleview Radio or type in Wrestleview. Either one will come up fine. And then if you prefer to listen to us instead of stare at us, which I totally understand, look up Wrestleview Media on SoundCloud, on iTunes, any kind of RSS feed, and obviously you can subscribe that way too and get the podcast as soon as we upload it there as well. So a couple different ways to listen and take it in and observe and enjoy us and all that wonderful good stuff. So, all right, Doug, I got nothing else to say. I'm just rambling. So we'll get the fuck out of here, and we hope everybody comes back in a couple weeks refreshed for the SummerSlams. And that's all I got.
The Summer of the Slam, Summerfest. Are you ready?
Summerfest, yeah. The old Jeremy Piven Summerfest line, which never got away to this day at the Summerfest. All right, everybody. We will talk to you very, very soon for the SummerSlams in a couple weeks. See you later. Bye. Thanks, Doug.